saying, Kit Woolsey, like, well, this defense would work if you had the 4 of diamonds, but you
Mm-hmm.
you have the 5 of diamonds, so this will never, this will never work.
Okay. There we go.
All your behind the scenes orchestration just coming to fruition.
Behind the scenes orchestration. I won't bother you with it, so you can start anytime you want, sir.
Okay. So I thought we'd start today just with a few review points, hopefully for the review points for people who have been here and not for people who haven't, but and then talk about just a couple of new topics and then look at a few hands. And the review points, I think I'm going to try to get on Zoom screen. I can see Bab's screen, but not chat to the table or other kibitzers. I saw that. So for review purposes, the defense in general should be related to what Declare is trying to do and trying to stop that plan. And sometimes there's different ways you can infer what Declare is trying or will try to do. We have clues from the auction, right? And we especially have clues from the appearance of dummy, because the appearance of dummy very, very often will let us know what Declare is going to do. And if there are tricks available to you, otherwise known as losers in Declare's hand, usually one of 3 things is going to happen. You're either going to get roughed in dummy, they're going to get pitched on a long suit in dummy, or you will get them eventually. And so if we can figure out which of those plans Declare is mostly going to adopt, then we can hopefully formulate the best possible plan. The other general way we want to think about defense is active defense versus passive defense. So in the active defense, that's when Declare usually has all the tricks that might be needed or more than enough. A long suit and dummy will kind of warn us that might be the case, a long usable suit. And when that's the case, we have to take more risks on defense. And when it looks like Declare might be struggling to make enough tricks, that's when we want to be more conservative and try not to give anything away. Now, sometimes the auction will tell you that. So if the auction is like 1 no trump, 2 no trump invitational, 3 no trump, we know Declare's hand plus or minus 1 point, and responder knew Declare's hand and still couldn't guarantee that they should be in a game contract. So that's an auction where the defense won't have anything extra to spare, and you can actually tell from before the opening lead that it's probably going to be a good idea not to take too many chances. Now, on the other hand, let's say you're playing 2/1, and an auction starts like 1 spade, 2 diamonds, which is a game forcing bid, and then Declare jumps to 3 spades, saying, spades are trump and I have a really good hand. Well, and it's slam invitational because you're setting the trump suit and you're in a game forcing auction, yet Declare didn't bid game. So if you're familiar with something called the principle of fast arrival, that would suggest that because Declare didn't bid game, that shows extra values because Declare is leaving room open for Q bids. That's the kind of an auction where Declare has more than just an opening hand. Responder has quite possibly a source of tricks in the diamond suit, probably, and also an opening hand. And it should be an auction where Declare is going to have no problem, barring really unlucky splits, taking 10 or more tricks, and you might want to be a little riskier on opening leads. So active versus passive defense, generally, Passive defense or passive leads would be honor sequences, or from the appearance of dummy, plays that just sort of give declare what declare is going to get anyway. Active defense or taking risks, when I talk about that in general, what I mean specifically is you're more prone to lead away from honors, which are generally leads that could give away tricks very, very easily. But if partner provides some help in the suit that you're leading, they can also set up tricks. So you're taking a chance to try to set something up. So if I lead away from a queen, I might give away a trick, or even if I lead away from king in a suit that dummy doesn't have anything in, I could be leading around to the ace queen and just giving away a trick. But if partner has the ace, we could take 2 tricks right now. Or if partner has the queen, we can knock out the ace and set up a trick. So I'm taking a chance to try to make something happen, which is what you have to do when it looks dangerous. And we help partner out. We have the auction as a clue. We have the appearance of dummy. We also help partner out with our signaling. And normally we're trying to tell partner one of 3 things in descending order of priority. We're trying to tell partner about our attitude, whether we like a suit or whether it looks like that suit should be led, or count, whether we have an odd number of cards or an even number of cards. And then finally, suit preference, whether we like the higher or the lower of usually two remaining suits, 2 suits that aren't that haven't been played. Okay, the other thing, because I did get a question about opening lead agreements, and there's only 2 that I want to mention right now, and then we'll get into the point of today's lesson hands. One is leading from 3 small cards. And one thing that I've noticed that is extremely popular at the beginning and intermediate level and extremely unpopular at the advanced expert level is pertains to what do you lead when you have 3 small cards in a suit. And the agreement that I'm talking about is MUD, which is an acronym, if you're not familiar with it, that stands for middle, up, down. So if you had the 2, 4, 6, and you decided to lead that suit, if you're playing MUD, you would lead the 4, the middle card. The second time you would go up, that's the U in MUD. So you'd lead the 4, the next time you'd play the 6, and then third time around you would play your remaining card, right, the 2. That's an agreement that, like I say, seems to be really, really popular below the advanced expert level and is really, really unpopular at the expert level. In fact, when I was reviewing a couple of books on defense to find hands that I wanted to use today, I found both Mike Lawrence and Kit Woolsey just writing at length about how much they disliked that agreement. And the reason is that the problem with MUD generally is that by the time you figure out what's going on, it's usually too late. So if I lead the 4, and it could be from a 3-card suit, or it could be from a doubleton, when the second round is played, the 6 comes out, I see that it's not a doubleton, but by then, it might be too late. I might have needed that information sooner. So the reason that most people don't generally like to lead low is that they would lead low from an honor. So if you lead the 2 from 2, 4, 6, and you lead the 2 from 2, 4, king, then when the 2 comes, partner can't really tell if you have anything in the suit or not. And that's true. But the expert consensus is definitely that getting the count information right away is more important. So personally, I would lead 3 small. I would lead the lowest card if I were going to lead that suit. And my second choice would be to lead the higher card, the top and nothing card. But the middle card would be my least preferred. It's just too ambiguous for too long. Now, one way to mitigate the problems associated with leading the 2 when you don't have anything in the suit is that generally speaking, leading from 3 small is just not an attractive lead. And most of the time you're going to lead another suit anyway. You'd have to have a specific reason to lead that suit, like partner made an overcall, something like that. The exception would be if it's a suit that has been bid and raised. Oh, and excuse me, I need one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. The exception to leading low from 3 small would be if it's a suit that in the auction I've shown that I have at least 3 of, then I can lead high. So for example, partner opens a spade, right-hand opponent does something, overcalls, I raise to 2 spades, and then I end up on lead against an opponent's contract. And again, I have the 2, 4, 6. Well, now I can lead the 6 because partner will know I don't have a doubleton. I freely raised the suit. I have at least 3. So I can lead the higher card to show that I don't have anything in the suit. But if it's an unbid suit, I would still lead the 2. The other lead that that I'd like to recommend you consider is against suit contracts. A lot of people lead 4th best the same way. That's kind of a standard lead against no trump contracts. No, thank you. Good question from Ken. So leading low from 3 small would be against a suit contract. At no trump, I would lead the high card. At no trump, the attitude tends to be more important because you, against a suit contract, when declarer runs out of a suit, declarer can rough in and you're done taking tricks in that suit, and you might blow a tempo or whatever. And so count becomes more important against suits. Against no trump, I would just lead high from 3 small to deny interest in the suit. Thank you for that question, Ken. So against suit contracts, I like to lead third, what's commonly called 3rd and 5th, which means if you're leading low, if you have more than a doubleton, you lead the 5th best card in the suit if you have 5 or more, but you lead the 3rd best card if you don't. And the reason for that is if you lead 4th best, then if you're leading from, let's say, queen 3rd in a suit, and let's say you have queen 7, 2, you would lead the 2, you would lead your 3rd best. You can't lead 4th best because you don't have 4. But you would also lead the 2 from queen 7, 5, 2. So when you see that small lead of let's say the 2 or some other, let's say the 3, but the 2's in dummy. When you lead what is obviously your smallest card in the suit, partner knows you have either 3 or 4 cards in the suit, but very often can't tell which. If you play 3rd and 5th best leads, then when partner leads the lowest card in a suit, you know it's not a 4-card suit. So rather than it being ambiguous whether it's a 3-card suit or a 4-card suit, now you know it's either a 3rd best, a 3-card suit or a 5-card suit. And very often the auction will tell you which of those 2 it is. So for example, it might be a situation where declarer opened a no trump and then ended up in a suit contract. And if partner has 5 of the suit, declarer has a singleton. And if partner has 3 of a suit, then declarer has 3. Well, declarer won't have a singleton with the opening no trump. And so you would know, oh, that must be partner has 3 and so does declarer. If you played 4th best and partner came out with that lowest lead, then declarer would either have a doubleton or would have 3, and the auction won't clear that up for you. Yeah, so if you're playing third and fifth best leads, if you're thinking about the rule of the way the rule of 11 works for fourth best, for third and fifth, then it's either the rule of 10 or 12. It depends if you can tell whether it's a third best lead or a fifth best lead. If it's now I'm trying to think. Let me look at the hand in dummy. If partner has the partner leads fifth best, then it should be the rule of 10, and vice versa. Because third and fifth have that fourth best lead surrounded, so the rule kind of works the same way. Instead of 11, it's one higher or one lower. So it's something, if you have a regular partner or a semi-regular partner, it's worth trying and see if you like it. It's not a magic bullet, but the main difference is that the fact that the possibilities are 2 apart rather than 1 apart tends to make it more likely that the auction will clear up for you what's going on, if that makes sense. Okay, so I want to talk today about 2 situations, and they both involve later leads. The first is returning partner's suit, and the second is when you break a new suit. So let me so typically at no trump especially, but generally all the way around, when we return partner's suit, it's kind of like an opening lead. So let's say that we lead a card at no trump, and I guess you probably want an auction.
Yes.
Okay. So we have an auction. We have a long suit to lead from, and there's our fourth best lead, and sometimes partner actually wins the trick. Okay, so the question is, what does partner return, assuming partner is going to return our suit? And what third hand should do, certainly at no trump, if you started with 3, in other words, if East has king third, then East would have a remaining doubleton. Then East should lead the higher card, just as though East were on opening lead with the doubleton. If East started with 4 or more cards, then the conventional standard return is the original 4th best card. And that should help West figure out what to do on the second trick and subsequent tricks. So that's the rule. If we started with 4 or more, then we return the original 4th best. If we started with 3, then we return the higher of the remaining 2. Now that's a rule. I'm not going to provide an exception hand today, because we're going to look at a few hands that talk about just using the rule in its normal form, which is the most helpful. But there are hands where you have to break that rule to avoid blocking the suit, and we may see a hand like that in the future, but we won't see one today. Today we're going to see how and why the rule can work. And we have today we kind of have some paired hands. So I have 2 or 3 hands that look really, really similar for one situation, and 3 hands for this situation, and then 2 hands on the subject of breaking a new suit that are also really, really similar to each other. And the only way, it's a situation where West has some choices to make that would be guesses, because multiple things could work, but with a reliable signal from partner can tell which will work. Yeah, upside down count and attitude doesn't affect that lead agreement in BASIC. And upside down count and attitude is actually my favorite signaling system. That doesn't change the conventions about which cards to lead in the middle of a hand. Okay, so in our first hand, East is going to return the 8 of hearts. And the first question to ask ourselves is, what's going on in hearts? Could the 8 be East's last heart? Could East have a King Doubleton of hearts? Okay, 5, 1, 3, 4, I assume is hearts around the table starting from West. So West 5 hearts, North 1, East 3, South 4. Remember that part of our, one of our big sources of information is the auction, right? So East having a Doubleton heart is not consistent with the auction. That would give South a 5-card major that South didn't bid, right? South's first bid in response to 1 spade was 2 diamonds. So we can rule out the possibility that partner had the King 8 Doubleton. And the 8 can also not be partner's 4th best heart, which means, yes, partner should have exactly 3 hearts, and partner is letting us know. And if partner has 3 hearts, we had 5, there was 1 in dummy, declare has started with 4. The 9 was actually dummy's singleton. Dummy's singleton was the 9 of hearts. So can we tell which hearts declare has remaining? We're going to win the second heart. Well, one of declare's hearts, you may forget the spot card, right? But there's 1 honor missing. And that is what? Yeah, declare still has the queen. Partner had the king. So the king went on the first trick. Partner, declare has the queen, and declare's other heart is going to either be the 6 or the 2. Partner should have a spot card lower than the 8 remaining, and the ones we haven't seen yet are the 6 and the 2. We led the 4, and declare played the 5 on the first trick. So what that means is that our ace 9, or I'm sorry, our ace 7, if we lead the suit, we're going to set up the queen. But if partner leads the suit, we can take the rest of the tricks. And so what that means on this hand is we are going to give up an extra trick if we lay down the ace. It's not going to drop. So the significance of partner's card, since we know declare started with 4 hearts, we know that laying down the ace is not going to drop the queen. Now, it could be one of those hands where, maybe we have to hold declare to 4 tricks, or to 10 tricks and just take our ace of hearts and be done. But that seems really, really pessimistic. Partners should have a better hand than we do. We only had 5 points. They didn't explore for slam or anything like that. And if partner has either the ace of diamonds or the king of spades, partner's going to get back in before declare takes the trick, or takes the tricks for the contract, right? If partner has the ace of diamonds, declare can't get any diamond tricks, and we're making sure declare doesn't get any heart tricks. So it would be awfully pessimistic to think that declare is going to just take 9 tricks if we make a safe return. If similarly, if partner has the king of spades, then even if declare has the ace of diamonds, declare can only take 4 diamond tricks, 1 spade, and maybe 2 or 3 clubs. So yeah, and we may not need to find partner's entry, because even if we miss, partner can get in before it's too late with either the king of spades or the ace of diamonds. The safe return here, or the most maybe maybe it's most dynamic, I think at this point almost anything, well, anything's going to be better than a heart is the key point. I would lead a club, because if partner has the queen of clubs, we're not giving anything away, right? The queen's going to force the king or the ace, and we still have the guarded jack behind declare. If partner has the king in front of the ace queen, it was always finessable. And again, even if partner has nothing in clubs, partner will hopefully get in with either the ace of diamonds or the king of spades. So your worst case scenario would be like partner has nothing, the opponents have everything but didn't try for slam, and they make 5 instead of 4 because you didn't grab your ace of hearts. But again, that's really, really pessimistic. The main point here is we know that declare's queen is guarded, and so we don't want to play another heart. And you can see here, I play a club, right? You can see what's going to happen. Partner is going to play, let's say, the queen, lose to the king. Now declare has all the spades, so there's 5 spade tricks. Ace king of clubs is 7. But that's it, right? At that point, declare is going to have to play either a diamond or a heart. And if declare plays a heart, we take the rest of the heart tricks. If declare plays a diamond, partner can win the ace of diamonds and play a heart from partner's side. And when I was kind of doing the main review points at the beginning, one important one is that sometimes it doesn't matter which partner plays a suit, and sometimes it matters a lot. So if you look at the clubs, either west or east can play a club and work towards setting up club tricks, and it won't hurt anything. But if you look at the hearts, after 2 rounds of hearts have been played, it's important that hearts get played from the east side. Okay, but having said that, let's look at a similar hand. Some might say a really similar hand. And we'll have a slightly different auction here. Okay, and again, we have only one unbid suit, right? So we lead the 4th best heart. Partner is going to win the king. And this time, partner is going to play the 2 of hearts. So what number of hearts can partner not possibly have had originally? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are some other answers, right? Partner cannot have had 9 hearts originally, but yeah, I was looking for Mike's answer. Partner cannot have 3 hearts originally, because as we just saw, with 3 hearts originally, partner would win the king and then return the higher of the remaining hearts. So partner didn't start with 3 hearts. That we know for sure. Now we can go back to, well, can partner have started with 2 hearts? And again, the answer is no, because that would give declare 5 hearts, which is inconsistent with the bidding. If you have 5 hearts in a good hand and partner opens a spade, you don't respond to clubs, unless you're playing some convention, right? You respond to hearts, which declare didn't do. So declare doesn't have 5 hearts. Partner's return of the 2 tells us that declare didn't have 4 hearts. So what declare should have is exactly 3 hearts, which means that in this case, we can and should lay down the ace of hearts. Anything else noteworthy here, or do we just lay down the ace of hearts and claim our 5 tricks and move on? Because we can see declare has all the rest of the tricks once we're done in hearts, right? Declare has 5 spades, 4 diamonds, ace of clubs. Does anybody notice anything else that might be important at this point? Yeah. Yep. Look what happens if partner drops the 6 of hearts under the ace. Then partner is going to be forced to win the next heart with the 8, and we're never going to get our 5th heart. Yep. It's critical that partner has to unblock here. But partner might say, okay, the ace. So let's put ourselves in East's position now, and let's go back to the beginning. So let's put ourselves in East's position. East wins the king, returns the 2, and partner cashes the ace and the jack. Now, if I'm East and I trust my partner, I know that partner is cashing the ace and the jack because partner knows that declare's queen is going to drop. Which means that even before I see that queen drop, I know that partner had a 5-card suit, right? So I should be able to get that 8 out of my hand. Now, let's say I don't trust partner, maybe partner had a 4-card suit. If partner had a 4-card suit, which is possible, sometimes partners miscount or think they need to cash out or whatever. But if I'm East, if declare has the 7 as part of the 4-card suit, so picture the West hand without the 7. That still can't be the case because West would have led the 3 of hearts, the 4th best, and not the 4 of hearts. So the lead of the 4 of hearts tells us that besides the ace and the jack and the 4, right, that 7 should still be in partner's hand, and it is safe to drop the 8 and not block the suit. That would be an unfortunate waste of a good defense to take the first 3 tricks like that and then have the suit block on the 4th one. Now there is so if you play, typically people who play 3rd and 5th best will play like certainly in my case, but also in the case of other people I know who, a lot of other people I know who use it, we still play 4th best against no trump and 3rd and 5th against suits. Not everybody does, but I think that seems to be the most common, and I think that's the best idea. Now, there is one other case. You think, well, what's the issue? You know, partner either leads high with an original holding of 3 cards, or partner leads low with an original holding of 4 or more cards. So isn't that everything? Well, yes and no. Sometimes there are tactical considerations, and just look at one. Da, 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 da. Okay, so this also looks familiar, or should look familiar-ish. So, I guess we need an auction. And we'll go back to our first auction here. Oops. It's a great book on opening leads by Mike Lawrence if you want to work on your opening leads. And one thing that's really fascinating is that he has a lot of quiz hands where the final contract is the same and your hand is the same, and 3 different leads are correct depending on which of 3 different auctions there is. So he gives you a hand, and he gives you 3 or 4 different auctions, and the opening lead is not always the same. Sometimes it is, so it can't be too predictable, but most of the time it's not. And it's among the other really good things in that book, like when to lead trump, when not to lead trump, when to lead singletons versus when to lead honor sequences. One of the really great things about that book is it goes a long way towards teaching you how to use the auction to come up with the best lead. Okay, so in this one, once again, we're going to lead our 4th best heart. Once again, partner's going to win the king. My partner never has the king. I just give away tricks to king, queen, 3rd for no reason. But in our case, partner leads the king. Partner returns the 8. Okay, so what's going on in hearts here? This should look a lot like the first hand. Again, partner didn't have king 8 doubleton, because again, that would give declare 5 hearts, which is inconsistent with the bidding. And the 8 can't be partner's original 4th best card. So partner has how many hearts, or started with how many hearts? Yep, not a trick question. Partner's got to have 3 hearts. So if partner has to have 3 hearts, then why is this different from the first hand? Okay, yeah, our hand is weaker here. We started our spot cards. We still have the ace jack 5th, but our spot cards were 2, 3, 4. How does that make this hand different than the first hand? And when I say how does it make it different, I mean, what practical difference does it make? In the first hand, we had a tennis position. Does everybody know what I mean by a tennis? It's a situation where we get tricks if the lead comes from the other side, right? In other words, we had like the ace 7 behind the queen 6, where a partner leads the suit, we get both the ace and the 7, but if we lead it, we don't. In this case, we do not have that. So in the earlier one, in the first hand, we won the jack, and then we tried to put partner back in to lead through declare again. The problem here is that if we win the jack and we get partner back in with the ace of diamonds or the ace of clubs or the king of spades, and partner leads a heart from the east side, we still can't take the rest of the heart tricks. Declare still has a stopper. The difference between having the ace 7 behind the queen and the ace 4 behind the queen is Declare is guaranteed a heart stopper. In the first hand, Declare didn't have a heart stop. Now, is that just too bad? Or what does that mean for us? Now, one possibility is we could say, well, Declare has a stopper, so we should just cash our 3 heart tricks. Take the jack, take the ace. We could play then we could play the 4th heart and set up the 5th heart, but we're probably never going to get in with that jack of clubs, right? Does anybody see a way we might still get 4 heart tricks even if we don't do that? Yeah, and this is the difference between this hand and the first hand. What we can do here is actually let Declare win this trick. So if Declare has a stopper, Declare can win. Let me display all the hands here. Declare is entitled to a heart trick, right? But we can choose which heart to give Declare. We could take the jack and then the ace and then give Declare a heart trick, but that strands our 5th heart. What we can do instead is say, okay, Declare, your spot cards are better than ours. You get a heart trick, but I'm going to give you the 2nd heart trick. Now, which heart would you play if you were not going to win this trick? Would you play the 4 or the 2? Okay, we're going to vote for the 2. 2. And 4 to encourage the 2. Yeah, I would play the 2 of hearts, and the reason is it tells partner I started with a 5-card suit. Yep. Yeah. Now what happens is Declare can take, so we given Declare a heart trick. Declare has the ace king of spades up to 3. 5, I'm sorry, the ace king of clubs up to 3. 5 spades is 8, but sooner or later, Declare is going to have to play a diamond. Now, in real life, that sooner or later is going to be later, right? Declare is going to take a whole bunch of black tricks and hope that we throw away something we shouldn't. But we're going to keep our hearts. Partner's going to keep the ace of diamonds and, follow suit to 4 spades. Sooner or later, partner is going to get the ace of diamonds. And if you haven't seen how these unblocking plays work, not unblocking, these ducking plays work, the point of ducking the 2nd heart is that it keeps communication between the hands by letting partner retain his 3rd heart. If we just cash hearts, we're going to run partner out of hearts and we don't have an outside entry. By giving Declare that 2nd heart, when partner gets in with the king of spades or the ace of diamonds or whatever entry card he has, partner still has a heart left. And this is the only way that we can get 4 heart tricks. I'm just discarding randomly from dummy, but you see the point there. The only way that we can get 4 heart tricks is if we get a subsequent lead from partner. So we get a lead from partner in hearts at trick 2, but to get all of our heart tricks, we need another lead from partner. And that can only be the 3rd time hearts are played because partner only has 3 hearts. So even when the distribution is identical, right? We had 5, 1 in dummy, partner had 3, Declare had 4. There's a difference between this hand where we had to duck and the first hand where we had that tennis position over declare, where we could afford to take the second heart and let partner get back in. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, there's no outside entry. So clearly clearing the hearts by taking the 3 heart tricks, that's going to be the end of our heart tricks, right? We would get those 3 and then we'd basically be giving up on the suit. Yeah. And by the way, that's often a good and often missed declare play technique as well. When you're cut off from dummy, a lot of times people will they'll cash their high cards and then get stranded from a long suit in dummy because the opponents have a stopper versus giving the opponents a trick early. People are really reluctant to give opponents tricks early. So if you have something like, let's say, 6 diamonds to the ace king and 3 diamonds in your hand, a lot of times people will play 3 small diamonds in your hand. A lot of times people will bang down the ace king, and if the suit doesn't split, then the opponents win the 3rd round and the suit's dead. Whereas even though you have ace king 6, if you just let the opponents take the first trick, then you're going to be able to run the suit the next time you're in, as long as diamonds are 3-1, which is the most common distribution. So if one opponent has like queen jack 3rd or queen 3rd, if you start by taking the high diamonds, the only way you're getting all the diamond tricks is if the suit is 2-2, right? But as declare, it's okay to give the opponents their trick early to maintain communications. That's a technique that works both as declare and also on defense. Okay, now we're going to switch over to did I claim this hand? No, I did not. Okay, so for the last 2 hands we're going to look at today, we're going to look at a situation where partner, instead of returning our suit, switches to a different suit. And generally the rule there is going to be that when you break a new suit, you play low in that suit if you want it returned, and you play high in that suit if you don't have any interest in having it returned, either because you don't have anything in the suit or because you want a different suit played. So it's sort of like an attitude-based lead when you're breaking a new suit. Sometimes you lead a different suit than the one partner led, because you see that, okay, this is the suit we should try to take tricks in. And sometimes you do it because it's safe or because you want partner in to play a different suit from the other side. So breaking a new suit, it's low if you want that suit returned and high if you don't. So let's see how that works with a pair of hands that are really, really similar to each other. Yeah, that would be the case in either case. Now, some people will play at suit contracts, especially. I've had partners who want to lead a count card there, but I think the most important would be attitude. And personally, I play it at either no trump or a suit. Now, a lot of times that'll be the same, but if you have, for example, 4 small cards and you don't want the suit returned, I would lead a high card. I would not lead a count card there, although I do know some good players who would. Okay, so here's our auction. So we have an ugly hand with basically nothing in the two unbid suits, two small trump, and the ace doubleton of diamonds. The one suit I would definitely not lead here is diamonds because it's an unsupported ace and it's dummy suit. I think you can make a case for leading a club because maybe partner had something in clubs, but not enough to bid at the 2 level, whereas partner had the opportunity to bid 1 heart. But there's also something to be said for the unbid major. Really, either suit could work here. But for our purposes, let's just say we lead a heart. And dummy wins the jack, partner wins the ace, and declare follows suit. Now, partner knows probably that we didn't lead a singleton because this just doesn't sound, although it's possible, it doesn't sound like an auction where declare is going to have a side heart suit. It would be pretty unlikely because declare clearly has a whole bunch of spades. And those free cans happen, but against the odds, partner probably thinks we just led from length in an unbid suit, even though we had nothing in the suit. And it's pretty obvious we had nothing in the suit, right? From partner's point of view, depending on what partner has, the best we could have is the 10. If you're playing third and fifth, you would lead third best. I'm leading fourth best here because that's most standard. So if we look at some point later, as you know, how third and fifth best leads might work better than fourth best on a lot of hands. I could lead hands to illustrate that, but I assume most people are leading fourth best. So I mentioned third and fifth best leads because I think it's a good agreement to have and a good thing to adopt. But I know that it's it's less common. If I was leading from the west hand, I would lead the third best, the 5 of hearts. Okay, so partner is definitely not going to return a heart. I should say, hopefully not going to return a heart. And partner's probably not going to return a spade, because if partner returns a spade, we can expect that declare will draw a trump and probably get some pitches on the king, queen of hearts, maybe even, well, not the 8 of hearts, we have the 9, but probably at least one pitch on the heart, if not more. So what partner does instead is return a diamond. Now, let's say I didn't tell you what partner's diamond was. I just said, okay, partner returns a diamond and we win the ace. We've taken the first 2 tricks, right? What would be the 2 most likely ways we might be able to set this hand? If you didn't know what partner's diamond was, and you just looked at dummy, and you knew what the auction was like, declare has a lot of spades, and dummy has the ace king of spades. What are 2 ways we might be able to set this hand? Okay, so yeah. One way is maybe partner has the ace queen of clubs behind the king, in which case we have to lead a club from our side. Partner can't lay down the ace of clubs, right? And if we don't do that, it's very possible partner has a lot, declare has a lot of spades, probably not too many hearts. It's possible that one or both of those club tricks could go away on the hearts if we don't do that. What's another way we might be able to set this hand other than finding partner with the ace queen of clubs? Give partner a ruff. Okay, and give partner a ruff in what suit? That would require declare to have an awful lot of clubs though. And declare should have at least 6 spades, if not more. If partner's roughing clubs, we're giving declare like probably 11 or 12 black cards. So the other way we might set this hand, yeah, that's the other, I think that's the other, I mean, we can contrive ways in which the hand might be set, but the simplest ways to set this hand are to find partner with the ace queen of clubs, or to find partner with the king of diamonds, in which case we can lead a diamond to partner's king, and if declare has a third diamond, then partner could return a diamond for us to rough. So if partner has the ace queen of clubs, or even, you know, maybe the hand can't be set, maybe we just want to get another trick, but if we're still dreaming about setting this hand, we probably want to find partner either with the ace queen of clubs, in which case we want to lead a club, or we want to find partner with the king of diamonds. We can lead a diamond to partner's king. And then partner, you know, maybe partner has the king of diamonds, ace of clubs. Maybe partner can cash the king of diamonds and the ace of clubs and then try to give us a rough. We might not be able to get a rough. Declare might be able to rough high. But the easiest ways to set this hand are going to be partner has the king of diamonds and we lead to it and then we rough the fourth trick, or partner has the ace queen of clubs. Now, we had a question in the room that I ignored until now, which is, does the high diamond ask for a heart? And the answer to that is no, because cards generally carry one message at a time, and the attitude message is more important than the suit preference message. This would not be a suit preference situation in the sense that a high card asks for the higher of the remaining suit. What the most important message for partner to give us is whether or not partner wants us to return a diamond. And the high diamond says no. So we should not expect to find partner with the king of diamonds here. And the card to return should be a club. And you can see on this hand, partner can take the ace queen of clubs. And then we're done. Yeah, declare is probably the one who's going to be roughing hearts, correct. So we lead a club. And notice I led the nine of clubs, saying we don't like this suit, although partner probably knows that. Now notice something interesting. On opening lead, we led from the 9-7-5-2 and we led small. And on the opening lead, that's correct. At trick 2, partner led from the exact same combination, 9-7-5-2. But partner led the 9, which was also correct. On opening lead, we lead the count card, the 2 if you're playing fourth best, or the 5 if you're playing third and fifth best. But when you break a new suit in the middle of the hand, when partner played diamonds at trick 2, now we make the attitude lead, saying it looks right from my side to play a diamond, but I don't want you to play one back. And just so we can kind of see the alternative possibility in black and white, if you're playing mud, that specifically applies to when you're leading from a 3-card holding. So in this case, mud wouldn't apply. Okay, stop me if you've seen this one before. Now, in this case, we're going to have a slightly different auction. But other than that, it's going to look familiar. Yeah, North's getting some pretty good hands, right? These are not the dummies my partners give me, I'll tell you that. So the dummy should look awfully familiar. Our hand and the final contract should be awfully familiar as well. In this case, though, partner doesn't lead the 9 of diamonds at trick 2. Partner leads the 2 of diamonds. So the 2 of diamonds, in contrast, says, I want this suit returned. This is not the card partner would lead with the ace, queen of clubs. Now, again, the only thing that's different, we're in the same final contract, same hand. North has a really good balanced hand. South has a lot of spades. The only difference that we have, the only thing we have to go on is which diamond did partner lead. In this case, with the 2 of diamonds, that's saying not only am I switching to a different suit because there is clearly no future in hearts, but also I want you to return this new suit. And in this case, if we return the 6 of diamonds to partner, we can actually set the hand by getting a ruff. And playing a club, notice if we play a club, the Claire is going to win the ace, draw trump, and pitch those losing diamonds on the queen jack of hearts. So we can have the same contract, same dummy, same west hand. In one case, we need a diamond return. In the other case, we need the club return. And now, if you don't have an agreed upon set of signals, you could get both of those guesses right, but that's all they'd be guesses, right? Or you could get them, you could get them both wrong, or you might get it right one time and wrong the other time. But if you're on the same page as to what partner's diamond means, then you're going to get both of these right. And that's why regularly when you see the travelers or when you see the scores at the end of your club session, very, very often you'll see the better players in the club unerringly setting hands like this where it seems like you had a guess at trick 3, but for them it wasn't a guess. Now, I just going back to the original, I think somebody asked a question about different possibilities. So I have had, as I mentioned, partners who like to lead a count card there in the east hand at trick 2 in the diamonds. The problem with that is if you have, let's say you have 4 diamonds to the 9, right? And so you lead the 2, you lead your 4th best diamond count card, right? That tells me how many diamonds you have, maybe, or close. Maybe you have 3, maybe you have 4, but it doesn't tell me if they're any good or not. It doesn't tell me if I can get back to you to your king of diamonds. So although you could have the agreement that East's lead of a diamond should be a count card, I don't recommend that agreement because most of the time, the most important signal you can get is attitude. Do you like this suit? Do you want me to return it? Do you have something in it? That's usually is going to, at least in its standard practice in the United States, that's the priority signal. If a card can be an attitude card, then it is. And if I'm on lead at trick 3, I don't really care about how many diamonds you have. I care about whether you have the king of diamonds, or alternatively, whether I should try to get you in with a club. That's why there's what I referred to initially as like the hierarchy of signals. If a card can tell me whether or not you like a suit, that's what I want to know. If I already know that, or if the appearance of dummy makes it obvious that I don't care, then you can tell me about your count. And if I already know or don't care about those things, then you can give me a suit preference card and tell me which of the remaining suits. So breaking a new suit, whether you're at trump contract or a no trump contract, a low card means you want partner to return this new suit, and a high card means you want partner to do something else. Okay, so that was the last hand. It's like 11:04, so we're all good. Thanks for hanging out. I can hang out a few minutes longer if anybody has any questions, but that's it for the prepared deals.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for all your behind the scenes work. Oh yeah, claim that.
You are more than welcome. If anybody has a question for Dan, feel free to unmute yourself and he can answer you in person.
Dupper, on the first lead, actually, I led the 2 of hearts here. If you're talking about the opening lead, JC. First lead was the 2 of hearts. On the other hand, first lead on the other hand should have been the 2 as well. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so the first lead in this one was also the 2 of hearts. It's the East card that changes. So at trick 2, East led the 9 of diamonds, but at trick 1, it was the 2 of hearts in both cases. Always 4th best or 3rd and 5th or whatever your agreement is on the opening lead. And again, the one exception I mentioned was if this is a suit that maybe you raised your partner in, that you freely bid, then you can lead high if you have nothing in the suit. Because let's say partner opened a heart and I raised to 2 hearts. Now I can lead the 9 because partner will know I don't have a doubleton. But unless the partner knows that you have more than 2 cards in a suit, yeah, your opening lead is going to be a count card. It's your later lead that switches to attitude. Thank you. I always believe the general guideline that if you have a large group, then for every person who asks the question, there's 5 more wondering who aren't asking. So I'm glad you brought it up. The return of let me the second board. Are you talking about this board? The return of the 2 at trick 2. Well, so the return of the 2, East can still unblock the 8 on the 3rd trick. Oh, I see. Yeah. So if you have the yeah. No, so I think Ken, I think you may have been here. I'm not sure if you were here at the very, very beginning of the session, but I mentioned that there are cases, and I didn't bring any in. Okay, so that would be an example of what I referred to. And if you watch this video later, there are times when you would violate the count agreement to avoid the unblock. So in that case, you might, so if you had king 8-7-2, you might choose to play the 8, because if you recognize that you might be blocking the suit. It's in other words, it's more important to not block the suit than it is to give the count card. Now that is, that assumes that you can recognize the potential for the blockage, which sometimes, rule of 11 will help you with that. And it also assumes that or it'll only be successful if you know, if partner can work out that that's what you're doing, or is at least aware of the possibility. In other words, it's better to give partner a chance to figure it out than to definitely block the suit. If you do return the 8 from King 8-7-2, partner might get it wrong, but if you return the 2, you're definitely going to block the suit. Oh, come on, Ken. I know you're better than that. You obviously don't know about my 3 levels of bridge players. Level 1, sometimes called beginner or novice, you blame yourself. You apologize for everything. Every contract you go down in, every suit you didn't make, right? Oh, sorry, I should have done this, I should have done that. Then you get to intermediate level. That's where you blame the opponents. Oh, well, you know, if he wouldn't have bid a spade, I would have led this. Oh, he did this, so I thought he did this. And then level 3, advanced expert, that's where you blame partner. So level 1, it's your fault. Level 2, it's the opponent's fault. Level 3, it's partner's fault. I don't know about level 4. I don't. My club doesn't have level 4 players. Hey, thanks. I'm glad you found it useful. No errors, hence no blaming. Nice. Thank you all.
Okay, so next week, Dan, you're back.
Yeah, and let me give you an early heads up, Babs. I will not be here on the 25th.
Okay.
So I will be here the next 2 weeks, and then I will miss a week.
Okie dokie, we shall put that in the on the site.
Okay.
Super. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I will see you next week.
Certainly will.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.